Back in the Dark Ages, when people didn't have a lot of knowledge about themselves or the world around them, there was a man who rose above the problems and difficulties of his time. His name was Marcus Aurelius, and he wasn't a warrior with a sharp sword. Instead, he was a philosopher with a sharp mind. Like Masao Musashi, a great Japanese samurai who found inner strength through unwavering resolve, Marcus Aurelius also paved a way that was hard to follow, but very clear when it came to ethics and philosophy. Marcus Aurelius was both ruler of the Roman Empire and a deep thinker. He taught us that what makes us great is not what we have or who we are in society, but how we handle our thoughts and feelings. He once said that you control your mind, not what happens in the outside world. Realize this, and you will find strength. Today, we will follow in Marcus Aurelius' footsteps and look at the lessons he left behind. We will talk about how they can help us not only deal with problems, but also live a meaningful and peaceful life. We will go into more detail about what it means to be a true Stoic and how to apply these ideas to every part of our daily lives. Number 1. Not as wide as deep. The temptation to spread ourselves too thin and try a lot of different things is always there in a world full of knowledge and endless possibilities. But depth, not breadth, is often where you'll find real mastery and deep understanding. We can gain more insights, become more skilled, and make more significant progress if we focus deeply on a few key areas. This way of thinking not only makes our lives richer and more satisfying, but it also lets us make big changes in the areas we're interested in. Focusing on mastery. Focusing on a single area is the only way to become truly skilled in it. By putting time and effort into a subject, you can become more knowledgeable and skilled in it, making yourself stand out as an expert. Choose quality over. Quantity depth leads to better results than spreading efforts thinly across many areas. Putting a lot of effort into a few things leads to better work and bigger effects than putting average effort into many things. Long-term progress. A focused method is the only way to get long-term growth and progress that lasts. Building on a strong base in one area allows for steady progress and learning that builds on itself, which leads to bigger accomplishments over time. Better ability to solve problems. You can solve harder problems in your field if you know a lot about it. If you really know a lot about a subject, you can face problems with more creativity and intelligence, coming up with useful and new ways to solve them. Important contributions. You can make big impacts and leave a lasting effect when you specialize. You can influence and motivate others by becoming an expert in your area. You can also help your community or industry by sharing your knowledge and making progress. Having a deeper-than-broad mindset gives you the power to become an expert, get great results, make progress that lasts, get better at handling problems, and make important contributions. Focus on going deeper in what you're doing to reach your full potential and make an effect that lasts. A famous Stoic philosopher, Epictetus, said that what really scares and upsets us is not what happens in the outside world, but how we think about it. He said that things don't bother us, but how we think about what they mean. This means we can't change the things around us, but we can change how we think about and judge them. Stupid people use this by focusing on what's really important to them, learning a lot, and putting quality over number. Imagine you are in a huge library with thousands of books. You could choose to skim them all or focus on a few and read them all the way through. This is the difference between knowing a little about everything and knowing deeply about what matters. Focusing on depth and developing focused knowledge not only makes us experts, but also brings us peace and satisfaction in life. But how do we know what is important and worth focusing on? To figure this out, use a tool called discernment. Think about what you can control and focus on, that instead of wasting time and energy on things you can't. For example, you could ask yourself, what really matters to me in life and what is within my control? By answering these questions, you can start to focus on what is important and develop depth in that area. Seneca. It's not that we don't have enough time to live, but that we waste a lot of it, said another Stoic. This tells us that quality over quantity is important. Instead of trying to know a lot about a lot of things, we should focus on really knowing a few key things. This not only makes us experts, but it also gives our lives meaning and satisfaction. But how do we get to depth? First, we need to pick one or two areas that are important to us and focus on learning and growing in those areas. Instead of spreading our energy across many areas, we should focus on what really matters. For example, if you love music, you might work on becoming a skilled musician. Instead of trying to know a little about everything, this will help you become an expert and make you happy. Second, we need to be patient and persistent. To reach depth, we have to be willing to put time and effort into learning and growing. You might ask yourself, how much time and effort am I willing to put into this area? How patient and persistent am I willing to be? By answering these questions, you can start your journey to reach depth and become a superior Stoic. Lastly, we need to accept that not everything is important. A superior Stoic knows they can't know everything, and they're okay with that. They focus on what's important and ignore what isn't, and this brings them peace and happiness in this world. We can learn from the superior Stoic by focusing on depth instead of breadth. When we dedicate our minds to what really matters, we not only become experts, but we also feel deeply satisfied. Having a deep, important and complete life brings us peace and happiness and helps us live like true Stoics, even though our hearts and souls are full of emotion and peace. Number 2, dominate inner peace. Peace of mind is something everyone wants, but not everyone can get. It is harder than ever to find peace in your soul. But with the theory of Stoicism, it is possible and even easier to master inner peace. Peace is not the absence of trouble, but the presence of calmness in the soul, even in the worst situations. Epictetus, a famous Stoic philosopher, once said, "It is not events that disturb people, but their judgments concerning them." This quote sums up the essence of Stoic philosophy about inner peace. We can't control what happens around us, but we can control how we react to it. Stoics are very good at using this power of detachment to keep their souls at peace. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can change and let go of what we can't. By doing this, we can lower our stress and worry. To find inner peace. A good Stoic knows how to let go of things that aren't important and instead focuses on controlling themselves. To practice this philosophy, you might ask yourself, what is bothering me in my life that I can't control? By recognizing these things and letting go of them, you can get closer to inner peace. For example, in the workplace, which is often competitive and stressful, you may have to deal with a difficult coworker or a boss who is hard to please. These situations can make you feel out of control and stressed, but according to the Stoic philosophy, you can control how you react. For example, if a coworker does something that makes you angry, you could choose to get angry, but that would only make things worse and disturb your inner peace. Instead, if you choose to control your emotions, you should calmly face the situation and not let your bad feelings take over. Stress and disagreements will go down if people focus on what they can change. Stoics live a peaceful and happy life no matter what is going on around them. because they know that peace doesn't come from having everything go their way, but from taking things as they are. If you are also looking for inner peace or have been through similar problems, read on. What do you think about the Stoic philosophy? Please share your ideas and stories in the comments. Because of how fast-paced our world is, it can seem impossible to find and keep inner peace. Still, it is necessary for our health and happiness as a whole. Inner peace, which is a calm state of mind and emotions, helps us handle life's difficulties with strength and grace. Controlling our inner peace can help us build a strong base for a happy, stress-free life that is free from the chaos and worry that often come with daily life. Mindfulness and meditation should be done. Meditation and mindfulness help you stay in the present and be aware of your feelings and thoughts without judging them. This exercise helps you feel less stressed and anxious by keeping your mind on the present moment instead of worrying about the past or the future. Taking action. Step 1. Set aside a few minutes every day to meditate or be aware. If you have never meditated before, start with guided meditations and slowly add more time as you get used to it. Grow your acceptance. Understanding. For mental peace, it's important to accept things as they are, not how you wish they were. This doesn't mean giving up on making things better. It just means accepting and being okay with the way things are now. Step 1. Work on accepting things about your life or events that are hard for you by writing them down. Think about what makes them upset you and try to let go of the need to change them. Keep a positive attitude. A good attitude can change the way you see life and help you find peace even when things are hard. Thinking about what you're thankful for and the good things in your life changes your outlook and makes you less negative. Steps to take. Writing down 3 things you are thankful for every day can help you feel better. This helps you think positively and be grateful for the good things in your life. Set limits and make self-care a priority. Explanation. To keep your peace, you need to set good boundaries. Putting self-care first will give you the mental and physical strength to deal with life's difficulties without getting too stressed out. Steps to take. Find the places in your life where you need to set limits, like your personal time, relationships, or work. Schedule regular time for things that make you feel good, so that self-care is always a part of your life. Adhere to Stoic ideas. Stoicism teaches that you should focus on the things you can change and let go of the things you can't. This way of thinking about philosophy helps people stay peaceful by cutting down on stress and worry that aren't required. Steps to take. Think about the Stoic two-way split of power. Write down the things you can control and the things you can't. Work on letting go of things you can't change and putting your energy into things you can. You can control your inner peace and build a strong, calm state of mind that can handle the challenges and stresses of modern life by incorporating these practices into your daily life. Number 3. Encourage happiness. Being content means being happy with where you are and who you are without wanting more or being angry about what you don't have. In the philosophy of Stoicism, being content is seen as an important part of living a full and meaningful life. This philosophy tells us to look inside ourselves, be happy with what we have, and focus on what really matters. Being self-aware and knowing what we want is the first step to being truly happy. Epicurus, a Stoic philosopher, once said that a person is smart if they don't grieve for the things they don't have, but are happy for the things they do have. This sentence shows how important it is to be grateful for what we have instead of complaining about what we don't have. By focusing on our own life and the good things in it, we can get rid of feelings of envy and unhappiness and live a peaceful and happy life. One person who is a good example of how envy can hurt you is a young worker who often comparing himself to people his own age. Even though he has a successful career and a loving family, he is often jealous of his co-workers' successes. This jealousy has made him not appreciate his own achievements and has made him unhappy all the time. He only found peace and happiness by keeping a calm attitude, focusing on his own progress, and being thankful for what he has. This change shows how important it is to be happy and how Stoicism can free you from stress. The idea of amore fati, or love of fate, tells us to accept our situations and find joy in whatever comes our way. This way of thinking leads to contentment because it helps us enjoy life as it is, instead of wanting something different. By loving our fate, we align our desires with reality, which creates a state of harmonious and peaceful well-being. Additionally, the practice of negative visualization in Stoicism can help us achieve contentment by reminding us that everything changes. And by thinking about what we will lose, we learn to deeply appreciate what we have, encouraging thankfulness and happiness. This practice changes our focus from what we don't have to what we do have, which creates an attitude of plenty instead of lack. Seneca. Another famous Stoic philosopher said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without worrying about the future." This advice tells us to live in the present, enjoy the moment, and be happy with what we have now, instead of worrying about what we might get or lose in the future. Being content doesn't mean being lazy or not wanting to improve things. It means recognizing and appreciating what really counts. Having this understanding means realizing that true wealth is not in things, but in being happy and peaceful. Soul Stoic philosophy tells us that we can't change the things that happen to us, but we can change how we feel and what we do. For example, if we choose to be content, we can control our own happiness and peace, which will lead to a meaningful and joyful life. To sum up, advanced Stoics put a lot of effort into being content. It means being grateful for what we have, working on our own growth, and making sure that our goals are in line with reality through techniques like amor fati and negative visualization. We can get rid of envy and unhappiness, which will lead to a peaceful and happy life. Comment. If you've learned the lesson of making yourself happy in life, please practice more FY. In today's fast-paced world, the search for happiness often makes us want more things, more accomplishments, and more praise. But real happiness doesn't come from getting things. It comes from being happy and at peace inside. To be happy, you have to find happiness and satisfaction in the present moment, no matter what else is going on around you. To live a healthy and satisfying life, it is important to practice gratitude. It improves mental health and makes us more grateful for what we already have. Every day, show gratitude. Focusing on the good things in your life can help you stop thinking about what you don't have and start enjoying what you do have. Performing this easy action can greatly improve your happiness. Do this. Write in a gratitude book. Every day, write down 3 things you're thankful for, even if they don't seem important. Make your life easier. Explanation. Getting rid of junk and extraneous problems in your life can make you feel calm and happy. This includes both things you own and things that weigh you down mentally. Clear out your living space and set priorities for your tasks. Let go of the things that don't add worth to your life and focus on the things that do. Stay in the present. Spending too much time thinking about the past or the future can make it hard to enjoy the present. Mindfulness training can help you enjoy the present moment. Do something. Try awareness meditation, or do things that help you be fully present, like yoga or walks in nature. Change what you expect. It's possible to be disappointed and unhappy when you have high hopes. You can have a happier attitude by making goals that are attainable and accepting your flaws. Action. Think about what you want and change your goals so they are more realistic and doable. Instead of only focused on the end goal, celebrate small wins and progress. Build and maintain good relationships. Strong ties that support and care for you can make you feel much happier. Being around happy, positive people can help you feel better and bring you joy. Take action. Put in time and effort to make and keep ties that matter. Show the people you care about how much you appreciate and thank them. By making these habits a part of your daily life, you can become happier and more fulfilled in the present moment. Number 4. Separation and freedom. Have you ever felt lost or unhappy with where you are in life? Do you sometimes feel like your mood and happiness are controlled by the people and places around you? People often feel this way, but for Stoics, where they live isn't important and doesn't affect their happiness. Instead, they focus on building inner freedom and the ability to accept anything that comes their way. This is the way of a superior Stoic, someone who knows that detachment and freedom are key to finding peace of mind. Stoics believe that detachment means separating your emotions and thoughts from outside facts. Emperor Marcus Aurelius, who was one of the most famous Stoics, was a great example of detachment. He said that if something outside of you hurts you, it's not the thing itself that's hurting you, but how you think about it, which you can change at any time. Marcus really understood how important it was to stay calm and not let the outside world affect your mind in everyday life. Detachment helps us deal with problems without getting upset. It lets us stand firm against changes and not be affected by things we can't change, like living in a bad environment. It helps you find joy and happiness inside yourself instead of waiting for the outside world to change. Freedom in Stoicism is not just physical freedom, but more importantly, mental freedom. Another famous Stoic philosopher, who used to be a slave before he became a philosopher, said, "Causes don't make a man, they only show him to himself." Epictetus shows that real freedom comes from being able to manage our thoughts and actions. In reality, spiritual freedom lets us live a happy life no matter what. For example, we can feel free and happy even if we live in a bad place by shifting our thoughts and perspectives. Freedom in our spirit helps us deal with problems and stay calm. Stoics are able to handle any situation with ease because they separate their emotions from their surroundings and keep their minds free of negative thoughts. This shows that happiness doesn't come from our surroundings, but from within us. For example, a friend of mine lives in a small apartment and doesn't like how crowded it is. But by following Stoic philosophy, they have learned to separate their emotions from their living space and focus on the good things in life, even though their living space hasn't changed. As a result, they are happy and at peace, even though their living space hasn't changed. Stoic ideas stress the importance of freedom and detachment, which can help us deal with living problems and feel calm. Focusing on detachment and freedom can help us get through problems related to where we live and live a happy, worthwhile life. Have you ever been unhappy with where you live? How can you use Stoic philosophy to find peace and freedom in that situation? Tell us your story in the comments section below. Freedom and separation are two ideas that are often linked and shape our personal growth and self-realization. We can separate ourselves from unhealthy relationships, limiting views, or societal expectations when we do this. Not only is this separation bodily, but it's also mental and emotional. It makes way for real freedom, which means being able to live your own unique life. These ideas must be understood and accepted by anyone who wants to live a happy and independent life. Seek out harmful influences. Find the people, habits and places that make you tired or stop you from moving forward. Know that getting away from these things is the first thing you need to do to be free. Set limits. Clear your mind and heart by learning to say no and putting up clear limits. Setting limits helps you feel like you and stops other people from taking away your freedom. Accept being alone. Take some time to think, relax, and figure out what you really want and need. Being alone helps you get to know yourself better, which leads to more freedom and self-reliance. Build up your self-discipline. Learn self-discipline to get rid of bad habits and limits you put on yourself. Self-discipline is an important part of having personal freedom because it lets you make decisions that are in line with your goals and values. Strive for constant growth. Commit to learning new things and getting better all the time to keep growing and changing. When you grow, you get new chances and ways of looking at things, which makes you feel more free and satisfied. Freedom and separation are important for living an honest and independent life. You can find a way to real freedom by recognizing harmful influences, setting limits, embracing solitude, developing self-discipline, and striving for constant growth. It takes guts and dedication to go on this path, but the freedom and happiness that comes from it are well worth it. Number 5. Do not feel regrets. Our lives are like a compass guiding a ship across a vast ocean. Each choice and action shapes our direction. Many people want to live without regret, like a ship always finding its way to a safe harbor after a rough journey. With Stoic philosophy, we have a clear map to help us reach that goal in a world full of chaos and change. Detachment and freedom of valuable compasses help us face problems and find peace. Using Stoic principles in this situation is a clear example of how to be proactive and wise in life. The story of Epicurus is an example of detachment and freedom. Even though he was a slave, he didn't let his situation control his life. Instead, he focused on what he could change, like his thoughts, actions, and attitudes. This let him live a free life without being limited by outside events. Similarly, in modern life, we often get caught up in wanting the right place to live, like a beautiful home or a convenient location. But relying too much on these things makes us anxious and uneasy. According to Stoicism, we should try to control ourselves instead of letting outside events do that. A Stoic approach isn't just about accepting things as they are. It's also about making choices that are in line with your values. True freedom and the ability to accept any situation are the keys to real happiness. For example, someone who lives in a small apartment and knows how to enjoy and appreciate the little things in life will be happier than someone who lives in a big house and is always unhappy and wanting more. Living simply and being thankful for what we have is a Stoic approach that helps us reach our goals. Freedom and peace. Stoic thought stresses the importance of detachment and freedom. When we learn to separate ourselves from things that aren't important, we find inner freedom. This doesn't mean we have to give up everything or live alone. It just means we have to figure out what's important and focus on that. Stoicism stresses living in the moment and staying true to our own values and principles. A good Stoic always thinks about what they're going to do before they do it, making sure that it fits with their core values. By following Stoic principles, we can avoid regrets and live a meaningful and happy life. To sum up, the Stoic way of living without regret is a great example of how we can live a free and peaceful life by focusing on what really matters and letting go of what doesn't. This way, no matter what happens, we can find happiness and meaning. People often feel regret because of choices or acts they wish they could change from the past. But dwelling on sorrow can stop you from growing and being happy. We can move forward with more direction and purpose if we focus on what we can learn from the past instead of what we wish we could change. Allow for imperfections. It's important to remember that everyone makes mistakes. Accept that you aren't perfect and that mistakes are a normal part of life. When you accept this truth, you can let go of unrealistic goals and feel less regret. Learn from your mistakes. Think of the mistakes you've made in the past as chances to learn and grow. Think about what you can learn from the event instead of what went wrong. With this new way of looking at things, sorrow can become a useful tool for personal growth. Learn to forgive yourself. Let go of the things you did in the past that you wish you hadn't. Holding on to self-blame only makes the pain last longer. To forgive yourself, you have to admit that you were wrong, try to make things right, and promise to do better next time. Stay in the present. Dwelling on the past can lead to regret. Mindfulness is a practice that can help you stay in the present. Being fully present in the present moment makes it harder to think about mistakes and makes you value life as it happens. Choose consciously. Plan your choices carefully to avoid having to deal with doubts later on. Think about your goals and ideals and make sure that what you do fits with them. You can avoid sorrow later on by making choices that are in line with who you really are. To live without guilt, you can't avoid making mistakes or going through hard times. Accepting your flaws, learning from the past, and moving on with self-compassion and awareness are all parts of this. By following these tips, you can turn your regret into a source of strength and knowledge, which will help you live a happier, more fulfilling life. Number 6. Revealing peace. Have you ever felt like life was too hard or like you were stuck in a cycle of fears and worries? How can we make peace when things like this happen? Stoic philosophy gives us a powerful way to find inner peace. But is indifference just coldness, or does it mean something deeper? How can we follow Stoic indifference to find happiness and peace? These questions take us to the power of indifference in Stoic philosophy. Being indifferent doesn't mean being cold-hearted. It means staying calm when things happen that we can't change. Worrying about things we can't change only causes stress and unease. Stoic philosophy tells us that we can't always control things in life, like the weather, other people's actions, or events that happen by chance. By focusing on apathy, we can accept things as they are and find inner peace. For example, when life throws us a curveball, like losing our job, getting sick, or breaking up with someone, we can choose to react with calmness and acceptance and move on, or we can worry, be angry, and get stuck in a cycle of suffering. Being stoic doesn't mean ignoring your feelings. It means facing them with a calm mind. A stoic is good at being indifferent, and they also use it to guide their actions. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and famous Stoic philosopher, practiced indifference by accepting whatever happened to him, but always acting with patience and purpose. He didn't let outside factors affect his decisions and actions. He always focused on doing the right thing. Think about times in your life when you feel anxious or out of control. You may find that many of your worries come from trying to control things that you can't control. How can you practice indifference in these situations? Try following this Stoic principle and see how it changes your life. The power of indifference in Stoicism lies in helping us focus on what really matters. Instead of worrying about things we can't change, we focus on improving ourselves, being patient, and accepting things as they come up. This not only brings us inner peace, but also makes us stronger and more resilient in life. Indifference is not an escape from reality, but a wise and serene acceptance of the unchangeable. This is where the strength of the superior Stoic comes from. It helps us let go of useless worries and focus on what we can control. which leads to deep peace within. By following the path of Stoicism, we not only find tranquility, but also become superior people who are stable in a life full of changes. What do you think about the Stoic idea of the power of indifference? If you want to find inner peace, share your thoughts and experiences on how to practice indifference in the comments. Your ideas could help someone. In the busy world we live in now, finding inner peace can seem like a faraway dream. To show peace, however, is not to run away from the chaos, but to stay calm and focused in the middle of it. It means making an effort to understand and control our feelings, thoughts, and responses to things going on around us. Focusing on activities that promote peace can help us handle life's problems more easily and with more strength. Being mindful and present. Being fully present in the present moment means being aware of your thoughts, feelings, and surroundings without judging them. Do something every day to practice mindfulness, like meditating, focused breathing, or just paying attention to things you do every day, like walking or eating. Getting over it and letting go. Acceptance means recognizing the truth of things as they are, without fighting them. Letting go means letting go of your connection to results and events from the past. Practice accepting the things you can't change and focusing on the things you can. To deal with and get rid of emotional baggage, write in a book or talk to a trusted friend. Being thankful and positive. Having a good attitude and being grateful can have a big effect on your mental health, making you feel at peace and happy. Practice. Write down every day what you are grateful for in a gratitude notebook. Change your bad thoughts into positive ones to fight them. Living in balance. For mental and emotional health, it's important to keep a balance between work, rest, and play. Setting up a balanced plan with time for work, leisure, exercise, and hobbies is important. You should make sure you get enough sleep and eat well. Kindness and connecting. Building caring ties and a sense of community can help you feel better emotionally and give you a greater sense of peace. Action. Show concern and listen actively when you talk to other people. To strengthen your relationships, you can volunteer, join a neighborhood group, or just spend time with people you care about. You can start to find the peace that lies inside you by making these habits a part of your daily life. This journey is about continuing to grow and learn about yourself, which will lead to a happier and more rewarding life in the end. Number 7. Getting over goodbye. Saying goodbye to someone, a time in our lives or a big part of our stories, can be one of the hardest things we do. Saying goodbye can make you feel anything from sad and lost to relieved and hopeful for a fresh start. For mental strength and personal growth, it's important to learn how to say goodbye. Accepting change, putting things behind you, and looking forward to the future with hope are all parts of it. Pay attention to your feelings. It's important to understand and accept how you feel. Suppressing feelings can leave problems unresolved and make sadness last longer. Say yes to sadness, anger, or joy, and know that these feelings are normal parts of getting better. Find peace. Closure makes things feel like they're over. This could mean having one last chat, writing a letter, even if you don't send it, or doing something else that represents the end. When you get closure, you can let go and move on without any regrets or questions. Take care of yourself. Putting yourself first is very important when you're going through mental turmoil. Do things that make you happy, calm, and like things are back to normal. Going to the gym, meditating, and spending time with people you care about can all help you feel better emotionally. Change the way you see things. Try to see saying goodbye as a chance to learn and start over. Think about the good things about the relationship or experience and how it has helped you grow as a person. Having a positive outlook on the future can help you turn your sadness into hope and possibilities. Ask for help. Do not be afraid to ask for help from family, friends, or experts. Talking about your thoughts with other people can help you feel better and give you new ideas that can help you heal. Support groups or therapy can help you understand your problems and find ways to deal with them. You can get through the process of saying goodbye with strength and hope if you recognize your feelings, find closure, take care of yourself, change your viewpoint, and ask for help. Every goodbye is a step toward new experiences and growth, paving the way for new chances and a better future. It's like the last autumn leaves falling, marking the end of a season of growth and giving way to the quiet of winter. But just like each season has its own meaning in the natural cycle, each goodbye in our lives is not just an end, but a fresh start for other journeys. Stoic philosophers who are very good at self-discipline understand this well and know how to use the power of patience and inner peace to face goodbyes. For example, there's the story of a soldier who came back from battle many times and had to say goodbye to his friends and family, not know when he would return. Instead of letting sadness take over, he chose to see each goodbye as a part of his life, filled with valuable lessons and chances to grow. This kept his spirit strong and calm, understanding that each goodbye could be a turning point leading to deep personal growth. Stoicism teaches us that every goodbye, no matter how sad, holds a spiritual gift. It's a chance to learn patience and focus on growing as a person instead of giving in to sadness. This kind of acceptance not only ends the pain, but it also makes room in the soul for peace and happiness to grow. Not only do Stoics see goodbyes as a necessary part of life, but they also see them as a way to grow in wisdom and understanding. By accepting and being grateful for separation, they turn even the worst moments into the most valuable lessons. Life may be full of goodbyes, but for a Stoic, each one is a step toward peace and happiness. It's a path that always aims for elevation, whether it's joy or sorrow. By following the lessons and principles of a great Stoic, we learn to master inner peace and live a life without regrets. If you liked this video, please leave a comment, yes or no, like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future videos. Keep watching the videos at the end to stay on the path of embracing Stoic thought. Let's keep learning and getting through tough times together.